Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Hunter from N.I.N.A Astrophotography, and we have some new products in place. Now, if you've been looking for a budget power box to operate your entire rig, but don't want to spend hundreds of dollars, well, there is a brand new solution. Now, we've been used to the SVBony SV241 light model here. I've been using this on my main imaging rig on my N.I.N.A, and it has been absolutely fantastic. It's done everything that I needed to do, but I always wish there was a little bit of some more, be able to do some capabilities like a few more extra plugs, a few more USB ports, and the ability to kind of turn certain switches off and on when I need them to, and not just always constantly running. Well, the good news is we do have the big brother now available, and I want you to meet the SVBony SV241 Power Box Module. Now, I've been really excited about this new updated power box from SVBony. Now, I have been using this one here, and I've been abusing it as far as, the amount of, stress I put on this system between using all of the power ports that it has available, which the Mini has 4, using all of the USB cables that I have available on here, which is 5, and using the DC input and connecting my Melee computer to my entire rig. I basically maxed this thing out as possible, and it handles beautifully. Just the one thing I had wished to be able to have, an interface and be able to control the ports. Well, luckily now with the brand new version, we are able to do that because this power box is now ASCOM enabled. So that means your favorite softwares like N.I.N.A, Sequence Generator Pro, APT, and even it has its own software to control your power box now, right from your computer. So I'm going to show you what's included in with the box here in just a moment, and a little bit some of the details of what this new and improved power box will be able to do. So we're going to first start off with the one side here. These are all your 5.5 by 2.5 millimeter plugs. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One of them there is a regulated always on, so you can either have that for your computer if you want to have it to automatically turn on when you have power to the box here and don't have to worry about hitting a power button whatsoever, or along those kind of lines. But you also have the ability to turn these plugs off and on, because I use some of these 5.5 millimeter plugs for my dew heaters. And the biggest problem I had with the other one was the dew heaters were always running max at 100%, and they got really, really hot. Now, for some people, that's not a big deal. I live in a very humid climate, so my dew heaters are always usually running at max anyway. It's just when I'm done with the session in the morning, they're still running until the time I wake up and physically go out there and turn off my power supply that it runs to the box itself. On this side here, we have regulated power. So this is a regulated 2.5 power as well that you can use for whatever you like. 2 new features here are RCA plugs. Now, these are specifically made for dew heaters that are RC plug enabled. So like do-me-not strips will work perfectly fine in here, and you can adjust the power for these, which is super helpful. But then what's really cool here, between these 2 ports here, we have a temperature humidity sensor and a temperature sensor, which are both included in the box. So not only we have environment data coming into the power box, which can also adjust the amount of power for your dew heaters right on the go. So that's super helpful too, that they've been able to include that. On the other side here, we have some USB ports. We have a USB-C port right here. We have 1, 2, 3 USB 2 outlet ports. We also have 2 USB 3.0. So this is where you would connect, if you have USB dew heaters, you can connect your, autofocuser, your filter wheel, your camera rotator, all that kind of good stuff that requires USB ports. You get a couple of extra ones here. Not only if you're using this with a like ASI Air, or you're using it with a mini computer like what I use it for, you'll be able to have a couple of extra USB ports, because with these Melee quieter PCs, you only get 3 USB ports, and that is definitely not enough. So luckily, we're able to expand our USB storage for all of those. And then finally, towards the front here, we have your power in, which is a 12 volt, 10 amp power, which included in with the box, you get a cigarette lighter version, not a wall outlet, just to keep that in mind, because you can get, you know, any third-party brand power inverter that you can plug into a wall for like under $20 on Amazon, so that's not a big deal. And we have the USB port here, 3.0, which you would connect it to your mini computer or ASI Air. And luckily now this time, you got a little bit of a saddle. So you can, you know, plop this onto your telescope to help with all of the cable management. Now inside of the box that you have right here, this is what you're gonna look out for. You're gonna get an instructional book here, which tells you, you know, how to set it up, what ports do what, and all that good stuff, and just to give you an overall summary of what this power box is about. But also you do get some cables as well. You get 1, 2, 3 different kinds of 5.5 millimeter by 2.5 millimeter plugs, you know, to power your equipment. You also get the what I call like the printer cable, USB 3. This is what you would use to connect to your mini computer. Here is that cigarette lighter power I was talking about. So if you have like a portable, you know, power station that has one of these, you want to take this on the go, you do have a plug for that. Or if you're like me, who use a home peer, you can get a third-party AC power for whatever you like. So, also, new to this is 2 sensors. We have a temperature humidity sensor here, and we have a temperature sensor. Now, these are going to do 2 different things. One's going to be helping to control, you know, the power of your dew heaters, whether of how strong you need it to have a little bit higher or lower. And this one is a temperature and humidity sensor, which also does dew point. This is going to help control, you know, the amount of humidity around the environment and make adjustments to the power to, you know, like your dew heaters that you have assigned for this. So these are going to be really, really cool to set up. So those are the things that you do get inside the box. Now, let's go ahead and install it onto our telescope. Okay, so we're outside and I have my telescope up here on the pier. I've taken my other SV241 light module off, and I put the new one on here, the Pro model. On top of here, I do have my mini computer, my Melee quieter, just held with some double-sided stick tape. But as you can see, I pretty much have plugged in every single power outlet besides maybe 2 of them, because I am running a lot when it comes to this particular setup. Like, I'm running 2 dew heaters, I'm running a camera angle adjustment rotator, the camera itself, a filter wheel, a automatic focuser, controlling the mount being powered through this, guide camera, guide scope, and I'm also running a flat panel with a retractable front end to this, and I'm powering everything on the computer also with this power box too. Now with my light, I had no problems doing that at all, but this is the similar kind of setup. You just get a few extra ports. So it's going to be very interesting to see how everything will be, you know, able to power off and on when I need to, and be able to have some live readings. Like I do have a one of the temperature probes underneath here of the dew strap, so I get a little bit of an idea of how, you know, hard my dew heaters are working. Also have this temperature humidity sensor here, which is going to measure the environment, so I can make adjustments what I need, and just kind of gauge the idea of, you know, how humid it is out there, the temperature, and it will all integrate itself right into the box. So we're going to be going inside now to the computer. I'm going to show you what steps you need to take to get this to respond in with your computer of choice and some of the drivers. And we're also going to N.I.N.A to show you how to control and be able to automate your power box all together with just one simple click. All right, so we're on the computer now. I am remoted into my Melee computer. I'm going to show you the first things you need to do when setting up the ASCOM aspect for your power control module box. We're going to first go into a browser, and we're just going to head over to the SVBony website. So go to svbony.com, and we're going to head over to the support tab here, and we're going to go over to software and driver. Now down the list through here, we're going to go over to Windows, and you're going to see two download links right here. You have the ASCOM driver software for the SV241 Pro Astro Box. You can definitely make sure you need to download that and install it. You can also download a separate software if you don't want to integrate this in with N.I.N.A. They also have their own Powerbox hub as well that you can go ahead and download. Once you download both the ASCOM and the control hub, you'll be all ready set to go to be able to, start controlling your Powerbox. So we're going to use the integrated software here first. So I have that in my downloads folder here, which I've already extracted out. So I just wanted to show you what exactly it looks like, the serial control app. So here you go. Here's the built-in software here. We're going to go ahead and hit the connect. Now, yours might be in a different COM connection. You have three you can select. You have like 3, 7, and 8. I believe mine is in the 7. So that's already connected, and you can see all of the options here are off. Well, we can go ahead and start turning them off and on. You have DC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can control the USBs through 1 through 3 and 4 through 6. You also be able to get all the sensor data too. So there we go. We're already connected to this, so you can see they are all on. So you can also just go ahead and click, these to turn them off and on. No problem at all. You can turn off the USBs. You have all your sensor data here showing the voltage of what is going in towards your system, which should be around 12 volts. We have the outside temperature, which is 22.88 Celsius. It's all going to be in metric. Humidity outside is pretty dry right now at 35%. You can show the power wattage at 41 watts. Dew point 6.58, which is the combination between the temperature and humidity to get that, dew point temperature, which is the level of supersaturation. And you have the lens temp, which is that other temperature probe that I put right underneath of the heat strap, so you know exactly what kind of temperature is being outputted towards that. So that is just, the basic controls for the control hub in itself through the software. You can also adjust the voltage coming in through the one PWM control module, which you can go all the way from 0 volts all the way up to 15 if you wanted to, but I'm not using that. The PWM 1 and 2, these are these RCA ports, so these you could have been able to reduce and, put up the power if you have those kind of dew straps, which I don't have those. I use 12 volt power ones that just plug in and just go to the max what's needed. So we're going to go ahead and just close out of that there, and we're going to open up N.I.N.A. Okay, so we're in N.I.N.A now, and we're going to go over to the equipment tab, and you're going to go all the way down towards the switch. Now up here it will come up as no switch. If you hit the drop down menu, if you installed that ASCOM driver, you should be able to find ASCOM driver for SVBony switch.
that is the one you're going to use, and we're going to hit that power button, and it's going to go ahead and find it. So the setup is pretty much the exact same as the regular, software the SVBony provides for it. It's just a little bit in a cleaner aspect, and you'll be able to actually, do some modifications as far as, turn certain ports off and on in like a sequence inside of N.I.N.A. So you have all your power ports like on and off. Like if I want to turn the mount on and off, I have it set to DC2. I'm going to just click that off, on. Same with all the USB ports. The other thing I wish we could have been able to do with the software, maybe this is something SVBony down the line might be able to do. I would like to be able to rename these so I know exactly which port is which, because sometimes I have no idea what I'm plugging into and I might forget down the line, especially for a lot of these DC ports. So just a little, that's just my personal opinion. If we can rename these ports to be able to, that would be awesome. But regardless, everything is pretty cool. You can turn everything off and on as well with the time sequence open and close switch. So all the ports that you would see, you can turn that straight on and off. I have my Melee computer plugged into the always on aspect. So whenever I get power to the power box itself, my computer will automatically turn on. And if I were to turn the power box off and on itself for everything else, like my mount, my camera, the dew heaters, and etc., my computer will still be on. So that's a super helpful thing. So I'm going to go ahead and completely disconnect from there, connect all of my devices, and you can actually set this up in a sequence, which I will show this here in just a moment once everything is begin to power up. So we'll go in towards the advanced sequencer because this is what I use. I'm going to go to my main sequence for my Newtonian telescope, which has a couple of targets in place. But what I found is how I have everything set up when I'm starting my image sequence for tonight, waiting for the certain time, cooling the camera, open up my flat panel, switching the filters, heading towards my target. But at the end of the night, if you look all the way down, you can set the value switch. So when I am done with my imaging for the night, when it comes to sunrise, it will find the home position, it will close my flat panel, it will warm up my camera, but then at the same time I can set the value switch, which is this time sequence, open and close, or individual ports that you want will shut off everything, camera, the mount, the dew heaters, my flat panel, all that stuff at one time, and then be able to shut down my computer. Before, when I would use the light model, since it doesn't have a off and on capability for that, my dew heaters and everything just happened to be constantly on during that time period, and the dew heaters were getting quite hot, especially by the time I get in towards the morning hours, and the sun is up just depending on when I wake up. So this is also a super nice feature for me, that I'm not burning holes or burning up my dew heaters for my extremely humid environment. So I have been using the power box now for about a week of doing this video, and it's been a dream. It's been awesome to be able to control a lot of this kind of stuff. I do have some, I would say, wishes a little bit later on in the video when I do my final thoughts for this.
So what are my final thoughts when it comes to the new version of the Astro Power Box from SVBony that is ASCOM enabled? Is exactly what I was looking for. I didn't want to break the bank on getting a power set up to, be able to control it inside of N.I.N.A, whatever ports that I need, because we all know a lot of other power boxes out there are very expensive. We're talking like $300, $400, even $500 some dollars just to be able to turn some power switches off and on and provide power to your entire system. And SVBony was able to do it for under $200. Like, the retail price for this is $169.99, and it's exactly what you would need. You don't really need anything else. You got 12-volt power, 10 amps, of current to go through. You have several DC ports. You have plenty of USB ports on top of that. You have the ability to auto adjust your the heaters if you have the RCA plugs. You have regulated power spot as well, and continuous always on power, especially if you use mini computers like myself and you happen to accidentally turn off your power box, you don't turn off your computer at the same time. So definitely highly recommend this if you want something to power your rig, and it runs all of my stuff flawlessly, no issues at all. And if you're looking for something like this, I'll have affiliate links down in the description. If you want to buy the SV Power Box for yourself, it is now available and it is shipping towards your doors. Now, if you don't need any of those, super higher end, you want something that's a little bit more budget, I've used the light version that's currently about $60. Does super well, and it can power everything for myself. You need continuous power. Don't care if you need to turn some things off and on when you need to. This got you covered as well. So my wish list for, maybe something further on down the line when it comes to, the ASCOM aspect for the power box, being able to rename the certain ports, like instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to what equipment you have set up. It's just a memory refresher if you need to kind of restart something, like your mount is acting up for whatever reason, instead of physically going outside and having to turn it off. Or if you have it in a remote observatory so far down the line and you don't remember exactly which one it's plugged into, having that naming feature would actually be super helpful for that. And maybe sometime down the line, we might have the ability to adjust the power in the DC ports itself, especially for myself that I use those 12 volt 5.5 jacks to be able to use my dew heaters just to kind of adjust the power for that. Those are just the two little minor things, like a wish list that I'm thinking maybe we can have down the line. So I hope this was very informative to you, and you're looking for something like this. Definitely, like I said, highly recommend this product. I'll have the links down in the description below of where you can purchase the brand new SV241 Astro Power Box. And as always, thank you for SVBony for sending the Power Box my way to be able to review it, and I'm going to be getting definitely a heck of a lot of use out of it too. So hope this video was informative. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Love doing reviews like this of the new products there out in the market. And as always, clear skies, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.